Welcome to the Hey Sister podcast, where sisters share real opinions and have honest conversations about life, growth, and everything in between. Hey sisters, how y'all doing?
Hey.
Well, before we hop into the episode, as always, let's do a little check-in. How is everybody feeling?
My word is jet lag. I'm very, very tired getting back onto US time. I was gonna take a nap, an hour nap at 3 p.m. This was on Monday. I landed at 8 on Monday. I was gonna take a 3 hour nap, a 2 hour nap, excuse me. And I laid down. I woke up at 10 p.m. Slept through class, literally everything. So it's okay. And then I was up till 5 a.m. and I've been waking up every day at 5 a.m. since.
My word is I just feel tired. That is it.
It'd be like that.
I'm feeling a little tired as well, but I'm also feeling super happy because my best friend just got married last weekend and I was a bridesmaid and I have not stopped thinking about it all week. But I also
Where
have
was the wedding?
not stopped sleeping. It was in Arizona, so the weather was nice. It was hot there. It was like 100 degrees. So I came back to New York like, why is it only 40?
Oh,
I'm
no.
confused.
And there it is.
No, it's good. I'm feeling excited. I decided yesterday, and this is a game time decision, that I'm going to host Easter dinner for some of my friends out here. So I feel like I'm starting to feel a little stressed, like, okay, I committed to something that I'm like, and I need to plan and figure out what I'm actually making. But I'm excited. It should be fun at the same time. So we'll see. Hopefully.
That's so
Pray for
fun.
me.
That's
I'll
fun.
pray for you.
Wow.
I know, because last year we went to church and did it, but I just really hate how the churches they're doing the theatrics for Easter, and I'm not a fan. Last year, I got to church like maybe 5 minutes late, which you can't get to church late on Easter. Everybody knows that. I already know. I was already wrong. But they had to close the doors like 15 minutes early to let the donkeys, so no one would get hurt by the donkeys that they were walking in. I'm just so irritated.
That's crazy.
I'm like, what happened to like normal church service?
Legitimate
on Easter?
donkeys?
Real donkeys.
That's crazy.
Yes, live donkeys. So I don't know what I'm going to do for church this year, but I probably won't be back there.
But impressed by the donkey show?
No, I'm just like, this is too much. And now you're stressing everybody else out because you want the donkeys to come through. Like, okay. Well, this week's episode is a Brooklyn production. So let us know what we're getting into this week.
So today we're going to be talking about how Disney Channel has shaped us to who we are today. So this topic kind of came about this year, marked the anniversary of Hannah Montana, the Disney Channel show that I feel defined an entire generation. This starred Miley Cyrus, who started at only 12 years old, which I didn't know. She started at 12 years old in Hannah Montana, and she was portrayed as a regular girl living a double life as a pop star. And so to me, this show just wasn't just entertainment. It shaped a lot of our style, our confidence, dreams, how we viewed life and fame and friendship and girlhood. Thinking back on Disney Channel as a whole, Disney Channel in the 2000s to 2010s was TV, but it was a lot of shaped who we are as kids and what we saw and what we absorbed and kind of how we lived our day-to-day life. There were scripted shows, but also original movies that I feel influenced a lot of things that we did in terms of music and fashion and how we even think about our futures. And so we watched the Hannah Montana anniversary special, and that's kind of our anchor for today. And so we're kind of going to unpack Disney and how it shaped us. So we'll get into the special just a little bit later, but were you a big Hannah Montana girly, or did you watch other shows that wasn't necessarily your fave?
I was a That's So Raven girl. I don't know. We grew up very religious, so I feel like my mom was always like, what are we watching? And I feel like That's So Raven was always black girl on TV. Go do it. XYZ, that's totally fine. And I was telling my friend this the other day because I was talking to her about how I've never seen Harry Potter because religious family. And I was like, it was so interesting though, because I was able to watch That So Raven, even though it was psychic and visions and all these different things or whatever. But I do think the reason why was because it was there's a black girl on the screen and you need to see her on the screen. And so I think that that was probably one of the shows that I don't want to say remember first, but it was probably my favorite growing up. That and the Proud Family, because it was black, relatable, you actually seeing yourself on the screen. But there were just so many shows and movies that were impactful that I stayed on Disney Channel growing up. So
Yeah, I also was on Disney Channel a lot. I like looked up a list of like the top Disney shows and I watched like all of them from that like time. My favorite was I really liked Lizzie McGuire. Like I remember watching that one like pretty early on as like one of my first favorite Disney channels because I love like the animations and then like the reality. I thought that was pretty cool. And that movie, I can watch that movie today.
That movie?
10 out of
It's
10.
I
so
can
good.
almost see
Yeah.
trying to
Yeah,
the
survive.
Yeah, the hit.
That was a hit. They had a hit on their hands. I love that one, and I love Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. I thought those boys were so cute. I had the biggest crushes on them.
Which is so funny because growing up, they look so smack. But I feel like saying like, oh,
No.
they look
Yeah.
little white boys. Like, no.
My favorite was the Chris Brown episode that they like wiped from the whole face of the earth. Like you really
Wait,
had
what
to
did
be
he
there,
do
otherwise you
on
would
there?
not
I don't
believe.
remember.
He visited the hotel, and I don't know like what the premise was,
I
but
remember that.
very shortly after the whole Rihanna thing happened, and you cannot find that episode anywhere. Like they completely
This is
removed
not
it.
what we stand for.
Really, you were not on the show. I think for me, I had to like, I was trying to like, I feel like I watched Disney all the time too, but it was always like Disney, Nickelodeon, like Cartoon Network had some things because it was like the in between of like, okay, watching Disney is like you're not a kid, so I'm not like necessarily watching like the cartoons, but like my little cousins and like little babies around me will watch it. But then it's like we had like the best like up and coming, what was it, coming to adulthood like shows. So it's like, of course, Hannah Montana. I really loved Hannah Montana. I feel like she's only a couple years older than us, I think. So I feel like I always feel like we're like the same age. And then she just lived like a glitz and glamour life. And she was also real country. So I'm like, I respect that. And then, of course, Raven, like, I feel like at the time that was really the only like black show on the network other than like the Proud Family. But of course, Proud Family is different because it's a cartoon. But still, very much like black family lessons out of that show. And then, I also love Lizzie McGuire too. Like, obsessed with that show. Obsessed with Lizzie McGuire. And yeah, my friend had like a whole birthday party based off the movie. So I was like, we were like in that shit. I'm like, wow, someone else loves this movie that much too, unless it's your whole party. But yeah, those are my top ones.
Yeah. I feel like similar to Amaya, I was a Sweet Life of Zack and Cody girl. I loved that show so much. But I also feel like I liked like the more calm shows, like the more like less popular shows, I guess. Like Corey in the House. I loved that show. Aunt
Oh my god, yes.
so much. So there like random ones I feel like I watched. I feel like Bria's saying like we were raised in a religious house. I was watching whatever I wanted to. I didn't really have any rules.
I was gonna say,
I don't know.
me being older, I had the first filter of stuff.
Yeah, I feel like I watched like a lot of the. I feel like Hannah Montana. Even when I watched this special, it was like pieces. I was like, oh, I remember that. But like pieces, I was like, oh, I don't remember that episode. So I don't think I was like watching it as religiously as like some of the other shows, like That's So Raven and like Sweet Life of Zack. But I probably watched every single episode of that show. No, I've not missed not one.
Yeah.
A couple of other ones.
No, yeah. I feel like everything on Disney and Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network was like hit or miss. We were good. Like as long as the channel was on one of those, we were cool. But my mom, the one show that she did not let us watch on one of those channels, and it was not for like any type of like content or anything like that. SpongeBob, she just thought he was so annoying. She was like, you cannot watch him around me.
I was just telling Michael that this week. Or he was telling me about that this week. I was like, she probably didn't want to because it was annoying, probably because of the content.
She literally did not care if we watched it like in our own rooms or whatever. But like if she was around, turn it off.
So valid.
That is so funny.
Okay, another big piece of Disney was, I felt like, the fashion piece of it. Our favorite Disney stars were known for their bold fashions. I looked up like how you would describe their fashion, and this is what they said. They said the chunky belts, the bangs, and more is how they described it. But how do you feel like Disney was able to shape your sense of style growing up, like from like a lot of the main characters, like Hannah Montana, for example, or Selena Gomez in Wizards of Waverly Place, or Raven Baxter? Like, how do you feel like it helped shape your own sense of fashion growing up?
It shaped it negatively because why would I wear 2 to 3 to maybe 4 different neon colors all at the same time with cuffs on my hands made out of shirts. It was crazy. I remember I have so many pictures where, and it did not do any justice for my little teenage body either. Those like tight crop, not crop, tight like graphic t-shirts, but that are rolled down straight past my hips with leggings
Yeah.
on. God, bright neon green leggings. Oh, Jesus. Not good.
I agree. I was a leggings and a skirt type of girl. And I always, growing up, I wanted bangs so bad. Like the Hannah Montana bangs, the Selena Gomez bangs, like one of them. Obviously, that doesn't work like that for Black people, but I wanted it so
That was always the issue.
I wanted it so bad. My mom was like, no.
I feel like when it comes to fashion, I think like Raven was kind of like the girl where it's like, oh, that's like my storyline. Like I'm in high school, like one of the fashion girlies and stuff like that too. I would say like probably the most impactful, and like Amaya said, for worse, like this is not a good thing, was the Cheetah Girls. I was like, oh, I'm leopard print down.
Yeah.
I love the little cheetah prints, like in college too. But I don't know. I just thought the Cheetah Girls were so raw. Like if they were to go on tour, I would definitely be sad for that. Still to this day.
Yeah, that would be great.
I remember they came to like our small town of Bloomington, Illinois, and like I don't think we were in town or something for the concert, but I was just so sad that we didn't go to the Cheetah Girls live. No, I loved them growing up too.
Okay, that was a good question. I don't really know if they like influenced my fashion directly. I feel like maybe indirectly thinking about what we did wear. Because I feel like my fashion was really just based off of like my school and like what was around us and what we could make up together from like a rainbow or from like whatever the hell you can get from the mall. It'd be like rainbow. Aeropostale was so big. It's before like people had money for Abercrombie and shit because we're still in middle school. But all of like, oh, and then what is that one brand? I feel like they're heavy influenced by Disney Channel. It's like an all girl store. You guys know it. It's like you always
Limited too.
Okay, Limited too. I feel like that gave Hannah Montana down. Like I love that store. We would go in there. Everything would be so expensive. She's like, you're not getting much out of here. We can go to like a Marshalls or something and get it. The same thing.
Yeah.
I feel like just like because Hannah Montana gave like flashy a little bit with the like a mix of like flashy but like subtle, so she would have like little diamonds, like little glittery over like solids, and it was just so many layers. Like I feel like that's the one thing we didn't used to do, like wear like a colorful tank top, like Manai said, and it would be like a bright colored neon. And then we would put over like their gloves over our hands or like all these little bangles and shit like that. And like the feather thing. And then a jean jacket with like the leathers, not the leather, but the leggings and like the skirt, like Brooklyn was saying. It was just like too much. It's like, why do you have all these layers? It's too much to take off. But I feel like Disney Channel kind of like had that influence. And then I'm curious, like, what was the guys' influence from Disney Channel? Because I feel like they didn't do too much.
Another cool piece of Disney is I feel like we got to watch our favorite characters up in real life. Like, as I said, Hannah Montana, Miley, she started when she was 12 years old. Like a lot of other popular people, Selena Gomez, Zendaya, a lot of these people were roughly around our age as well when they started, and we watched them grow up in real time. I feel like in their real life, the good, the bad, the challenges. A lot of these people, we've aged with them and we've watched their mistakes and their accomplishments as well. Did watching them grow up affect how you transitioned into your own adulthood either in a good or bad way? So for example, like there could be a lot of positive things, advice, girlhood, X, Y, and Z, but also there could be negative things as well. For example, like pressure or like, these were really successful kids growing up. So did that provide a different pressure or negative view as well? So kind of how did that affect you?
I don't know if they like really like affected me, if that makes sense, because for me it was always like, oh, they're on TV, so like these are like famous kids. Of course, like they're not untouchable, like people would have like, model link ups at the mall and all these little things like I used to go to as a kid too, but like you do like a fashion show for like Macy's or some shit. So I was like, it's not hard to like get famous. I'm sure you just like have to have your parents work in a room or something like that. But so I feel like everything they did, especially like growing up in real time with them. So it was funny because I feel like when they were like young on TV, yes, when YouTube was getting popping, like Miley would be on like YouTube and she had beef. Was it Miley and like Demi? I forget. Some Miley versus like someone else. Selena Gomez or some
It
shit.
was like Demi and Selena versus Miley and I don't
Her
even know who
friend.
else. Some
Yeah.
random girl.
But that
Yeah,
shit, like
yeah.
that shit was so funny to me, and they would all make like little music videos that are kind of like dogging each other out, and I'm just like, ooh, the drama. And then like High School Musical came in, all the cast is like dating each other, and it was just like I feel like it was more so just like, oh, this is just like young news, like this is like our teenage news, and when we get older, we'll have like our older news. So I don't think any of it like affected me. I think it was like sad to see how like a lot of them like had to like go through like their healing and like like figuring out like, oh, like their mental state and their mental process and how to like get better in certain like areas that they may have like got addiction or like just did the wrong thing and now I need help getting out of it. So I think that was always kind of sad to see, but I won't say it like influenced me because I feel like everyone, I would see that all the time. So just like, oh, these are like just younger kids. You just seeing it a little bit earlier than like seeing it on the news or like.
Yeah, that makes total sense. It was so interesting during the special when Miley said something to the extent of, I'm so grateful that I had a good experience, growing up and on these shows. And I know like other people didn't quite have that experience. And so it made me think about, watching all these people go through a lot, so much in the public eye. I can imagine your most formative years and like everything you're doing, wearing, and looking like is being judged by every moment.
Mm-hmm.
So, even though I've always wanted to be famous, I am grateful for my privacy and the opportunity to grow up and like just be a child and not like be working since I was 12. And also just like thankful for my parents for they weren't like super strict, but like as strict as they were. Because when you're growing up, who you're around and like who your parents allow you to be around, like makes so much difference. You could see that like in people even our age now, like I can tell your parents really let you do whatever because you act however you want. So I appreciate like the perspective that some of their crash outs has given me.
Mm-hmm.
No, for sure. I was thinking, even to your point, Amaya, when she was saying that, I think that some of the differences I see between like some of the child stars who like completely spiral versus the ones that don't, they have like parents that are very
Yeah.
involved in like the process. So like, no, the Disney execs weren't gonna be talking to you crazy or having you doing insane things with your dad on the set and in the show. And same thing with like Disney stars. Marseille Martin, her mom has made it very clear, we will shut this whole thing down.
Mm-hmm.
You start acting crazy like
Any kind of
as a
way.
child. Yeah, like as a child, I can't remember like what interview it was, but I remember I was watching it a few like weeks or months ago. But Marseille was basically saying that like, yes, she was a child star, but her mom made it very clear that like we have rules in this house and we will pull the plug on all of it, to be quite honest. And like you see that versus like a, not to compare celebrities, but like a Sky Jackson, for example, who like very clearly was able to do whatever she wanted to do growing up, and like kind of like seeing like what those different paths have looked like. But as far as like how Disney impacted me, I think that as someone who's like very into pop culture, it was kind of the gateway into like, oh, this is like my thing, kind of, to be quite honest. Like I was someone who had like the 17 magazines, the J14s, the Tiger Beats. Like I was getting all of the editions. Like, what are the celebrities? Like, she went and got her coffee from here today. I don't even live in LA, so that doesn't even matter to me, but I just like want to know, kind of thing. But I was just so obsessed with like seeing, it was almost like aspirational, because I don't know that I ever like wanted to be like a child star, for example, like per se, but like I did think it was super interesting and like almost aspirational, like that these people were so cool and like what is it that they're up to almost. But I think to your point, like it was just like very intriguing, Faith, about like, oh, the celebrity drama. And then like I was talking to someone the other day about how when Nick Jonas was like, I have diabetes, and everyone thought he was like dying. We're like, oh my god.
I cried. Oh, I cried.
I was like, he's not gonna make it another week. I literally was so sad. But it was like a very like normal condition, and like so many people have it. Yeah, I think for me personally, as someone who's like really into the pop culture world, I think it kind of like opened that door for me into like obviously some of the pop culture stuff that I'm doing now too.
Those are good answers. I feel like for me, I guess like the good and bad, like I feel like maybe slightly bad. I thought it was so easy to become like a pop star from all of these shows. I was like, oh yeah, they're like they became like the most popular people ever. And I like saw these shows as like so aspirational, like Sweet Life on Deck. I was like, why am I not on in school on a boat? Like that's just like, where's my invite? I thought I wanted to be in. It was just like something like I felt like, why didn't my parents do this? Why would they not think about putting me on a boat for school?
That was me asking dad if I could go to boarding school after seeing Zoe 101.
That was my exact thought. I was Googling. My mom was like, please go.
By all means.
So I think it gave me like a false view of what the real world should look like, because I felt like my life should be on a boat. Boarding school is super fun, like X, Y, and Z. But I also think it was interesting to like watch, like Bria said, watch them grow up and like go through like their crash outs. And I think it was like you see the reality of it all, because for like life it looks like that I wanted to have so much, but like you also see, you know, Miley Cyrus's Wrecking Ball era, Demi Lovato, her mental health crisis, Selena Gomez went through like eating disorders and like all of these things. I think for me, like as I grew up, it allowed me to like see that the reality of like this is real life, and like it's highs and lows, ups and downs, and like what they're portraying in the show is not real life. And so I think it was like good to see it and like go through, like grow up with them. It allowed childhood to be fun, but then like it also allowed, like, as you grow up, like you're growing up with people that like are going through things also, so it allows that real life person. So I thought that was good to see. Now we're going to get into the Hannah Montana anniversary special. So I feel like it brought back for me a lot of memories, like just watching it, seeing they're all grown up, looks so different. How did it feel for you? What was it like watching this back and watching this special?
I was a big Hannah Montana fan growing up. I think like when it came to music, it was the Cheetah Girls, High School Musical, and Her. Like those were like the music soundtracks of Disney Channel, I feel like. So I thought that that was really cool. I was so sad that it was in LA and it wasn't like an open event. So I was like, I wish I could have been in the crowd to just like see her live. But my only complaint was I always get the Alex's mixed up. Alex Earl Cooper.
Yeah.
Alex Cooper. She was one of my one complaints, because I did read somewhere that I think her production company was the one that put the special on, and so she got like first right to interview. But from watching the special, you would have never thought that like she even knew what Hannah Montana was. Like she looked so confused. She didn't know any of the words to like some of the songs, XYZ. I was like, okay, I get that, you know, you helped put on the thing, but like act a little bit more enthused. This is like,
she's so dry.
A lot of people are so excited for this, and here you are just like, welcome Hannah Montana. Like Miley Cyrus talking about someone who knows Hannah Montana the most. I'm like, no, you could have found,
how is she qualified for this?
You could have found so many people who would have been better fit and equipped for this conversation.
Once I heard the Alice Cooper was interviewed, I'm like, I don't want to. Like I feel like I don't know, like I think Amaya said like she's dry, like I don't know. She doesn't give like a good interview to me. Then I'm just like, she gets all these celebrity guests, which is like annoying. And I'm like, how did you get this special? So for a production company producer, I guess that makes sense. But also, it's just like, if I was Miley, I would be like, let's find, like I read Disney producers, like I don't know, like let's figure out how to make this make sense and get like a real Miley fan, not even like a fan, but just like she could have had Kiki Palmer interview her for all I care. Like it could have been a lot better. But I did like that Selena Gomez was there. I'm like, okay, that's cute. I think I saw her dad was there, and I saw clips of like her like going through like the old sets. That was like real nostalgic, because I'm like, if it was one thing, I love their house. Like I want that house. I want her closet. Ooh, that closet.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm gonna get that closet when I get older. I don't even looking like she's at the cleaner, with the little moving button and shit. I'm like, that's so cool. Yeah, I wish it was like someone else had produced it overall. I did not watch it fully, but I will continue to watch clips on.
Wait, sorry. One more thing, because you mentioned clips, and I put this on TikTok too. But did you guys see obviously they're doing like a lot of press and like promotion for this special. Like apparently there was like a Best of Both Worlds podcast hosted by the brother. Did you guys see basically that he like lied about his age? To like
I saw something about that.
I feel like everyone used to do that.
He's 10 years. He told them that he was 18. He was 28.
Shit.
That's insane.
He was 28. They thought he was 18. He booked the role. They got like halfway through the season, and then someone, I guess, checked his ID and was like, wait,
This is a
you're not
full-grown
18.
man.
He was like, you are not 18. He was like, no, I'm not. And they were like, okay, well, I guess like you're here now, so we can't do anything about it. But like, what the fuck?
That's so weird.
You even do that when they hire you for a job. They literally do a whole background check and shit. Like they used to just do whatever back in the day.
Didn't. I was gonna say, yeah, whoever was in charge of that, he did not look 18. Like he didn't look 28, but he didn't look 18.
He looked older compared to all of us.
Right. And apparently his girlfriend that was always like on set was apparently his like legal wife. I was like, okay, y'all didn't do any type of research on this man at all. He told him like, oh, this is my girlfriend. And then they found out he was 28 and they were like, so is that really your girlfriend? He was like, no, we're married. And they were like, do you have any kids that we need to know about?
They said like, we're here.
Is he?
No, he didn't have any kids. And they were like, yeah, let's keep it that way for a little bit, please. Thank you.
It's gonna mess up the whole thing.
It said, nigga, you are old. I'm supposed to be working. You're supposed to be a kid.
Right. That was my only thing because it was like everyone else. If Miley was like 12,
yeah, they're young.
Like, you're around a lot of little kids, but
I gotta get a bag.
He was little.
She didn't have any issues. So
he was around.
Yeah,
he was little. He fit right in.
They were saying that episode they did with John Cena. They were like the same age. I don't know if I'll show you the side by side. Maybe we'll put it in like the social for this week. But John Cena, I guess, was on one of the episodes, and they both were like the same age. But it's like him down here and like John Cena out here.
Wait, that's so silly. I had two big takeaways from this special. One was, how am I old enough to have watched a show when I was growing up to now have its 20th anniversary? I said, what does that say about me? I was like, whoa. I was only, I don't even know 6 years old when this show came out. Like, that's crazy. I never, so young. I'm not like, I never thought I would get to this age in like a depressing way, but more like I just didn't think I was gonna be old. And it's so crazy to me. My sister texted me this week, it hits me so fast. I was like, this age to me was always like grown. And I'm an adult, but I'm like, this is crazy. My sister was like, how are you turning 27 this year? And I was like, I don't know. I actually don't know how that's going to happen. And then I also was like, it's so, I'm trying to be into manifestation and all that stuff. And so when she was telling everybody about like how she just kind of was saying it was going to happen, even though there was literally nothing in the works, and then it happened, I'm like, I'm going to take that. I'm going to just start saying stuff will happen, because right now, anything that I want in my future, I'm kind of like, we'll see. Because I'm like, I don't want to be here. Does it happen? But I need to start speaking more positively.
I agree with Amaya. That was one of my favorite pieces of the show, of the special, of her like is happening. Because I remember some of her interviews, like her saying this. I was like, ooh, but like I didn't think twice of it. So I was like, oh, okay, maybe it's coming later. Because I didn't coming up right now. So yeah, definitely makes me feel old. So I was like,
you get old.
Definitely one of my favorite pieces of it. I agree. Favorite also bringing Alex. I didn't even know it was when she came out, but Alex Cooper, I guess. I don't know. I thought, was she like the bully in the show? Is that
Alex Cooper? Alex Cooper was not in the show.
Just there.
Alex Cooper has a podcast called Call Her Daddy, which I honestly don't really know. I don't really know like what her rise to fame was, because I actually clicked on the podcast and like resorted it from like oldest to newest, and it started as like this very like sex forward, like all like our sexcapades stories that was not celebrity guests. So I don't really know like what the transition was between like a podcast with her and her friend to like celebrity. I have no idea, but she's famous now.
I was a fan of this podcast, so I can give you the
let's see
the skinny. So I used to listen to this in college. It was her and Sophia Franklin, and like you said, they was like talking about all their hookup stories, giving like sex advice or whatever. It was so funny. Like I loved it. Then right around COVID time, essentially what happened was, so they were under, what's that guy's name? I don't like it. They were under Barstool.
Okay.
And then basically there was an opportunity for them to like get more money. And Alex Cooper was like, heck yeah, let's do that. And Sophia at the time had a boyfriend who was like, no, we should go to this other network. And Alex was like, that's not a good business decision. And the girl was like, yeah, it is. So then they kind of like broke up from that. And then for a while, it was just like Alex doing her own thing. And then she would do like interviews with increasingly more like celebrities. Because she did Miley Cyrus like during COVID. And that was like one of her like first big guests. I think the format now is just kind of dry for me personally. I'm like, this is not giving Oprah. I'm like, I know you wanted to give Oprah and she has so much money. So I'm like, I know she's going to have Oprah money one day. But like, it's not as fun anymore.
I've only listened to one of her interviews with Offset. Or I only listened to one of her interviews. It was one with Offset. It was okay. Offset's funny. Offset's one of those people that I didn't realize was funny until he started talking, because I've never actually like heard him talk outside of his music. And I was like, oh, I can see why he's likable, actually. Sucks he's like not shit, but like, you know.
So to me, Alex Cooper, I guess her name is, she looks like, I don't know what Disney show it is, but there was a Disney show with a blonde, there was a blonde like mean girl in one of these shows, one of them, I don't know which one. Looks like that girl. So that's why when she walked in, I was like, oh, this is the girl that was somebody's bully. And I was like, maybe it was him episode or something. But I'm gonna find it and I'm gonna let y'all know. But she looks like this girl, I'm telling you. So yeah, she was me. And I also did not understand why Chappell Roan was on.
I didn't get that either.
Yeah, that was weird.
It seemed like her agent.
Like that was just very random to me. I wish also that I know, like, I think they were busy or something. I don't think there's any beef between them, but I wish that Emily and Oliver, whatever their names are, I wish they were on the reunion, because obviously they played like a big part of it.
Well, Emily said she was shooting something else, which is like,
yeah, I was like, I know there was no.
I feel like,
girl, what are you shooting?
Like, that's why I'm like, girl, I feel like you could have made time, because you're not. She
still acts.
Big. Like, please be serious.
Be so.
Yeah, Oliver, she acts. Yeah,
but Oliver left Disney Channel and got like 3 or 4 DUIs, and Disney Channel doesn't play that.
Blacklisted.
So he's not invited.
Oh, sweet Oliver.
Dang.
Oh, he was one of my favorites. But yeah, I feel like I wish that they would have added at least a piece of that to them. I forgot what I was gonna say. But oh yeah, it was very nostalgic. Just like seeing like the old set, like seeing like the throwback clips that they would put on. I was like, oh, like I have not watched it since like some shows I'll rewatch portions of it, but like that's a show I've never rewatched. So I feel like it was like watch pieces of it and everything. So I thought that was cute. Very cute. Okay, we're gonna go into a speed round of a lot of our favorites from Disney Channel. So first one, what Disney character are you most like?
Boom, I got mine. I am most like Taylor from High School Musical, the black girl.
That's a good one.
That's a good
one. She was my idol. She was so smart. I want to be so much like her.
That's a good one. Mine was China Anne McClain from Ant Farm. I told you I love that show.
I could see that.
I want to say Raven. I mean, she did stuff on time. Like, she was fun. She was always trying to help. Like, she might get into situations, but like, she learned her lesson and moved on. I'm gonna say Raven.
I'm gonna say, I literally just came up with this right now. I'm gonna say, and this might not count, Tia Mari. She was on Twitches. Well, I don't know if Sister was actually Disney Channel, but she was on Twitches. But she always played like the organized, strict, like these are the rules sister. So that was me for sure growing up.
Next one, slightly different. What Disney girl had the biggest cultural impact?
I would have to say, maybe just because this is like recency bias because of her 20-year anniversary, whatever thing, I would have to say Miley Cyrus, only because I feel like she was the first one who really broke out from Disney, even though she did it in a crazy way, but went super mainstream. Like, she was like bigger than just like her Disney show. And I think it was so cool in the special, you could tell her mom was like, had always foreseen that for her. Like, she's like, you're Miley Cyrus at the end of the day. So yeah, I would say she had a lot of like ex-Disney stardom first-ish.
That's a good one. I would say my instinct is to say Raven, just because she had like the most influential impact on me. I think another star though that like doesn't get her flowers as much, and because maybe she wasn't like Disney Channel show, is maybe like Lindsay Lohan. Because she left and did a lot of really cool stuff too.
I love Lindsay Lohan. I forgot about her because she used to be in all the good movies growing up.
Yeah.
I feel like all my answers include Raven, but this I'm gonna say Cheetah Girls because I feel like their influence was like super impactful. I know like they had books at the time, so I remember in school it was like the girl, and it was a thick book. So if you had that thick book, it was like, "Oh, you reading Cheetah Girls? Like, how cute!" But it was just like, of course, like we had like a couple of like black shows on Disney Channel. But when I was looking through it, I was like, "Dang, these are the only shows we had." Like, I don't know why I felt like that we had more. But So I'm just like, oh, you not only got to do that, but then you got to do like one of the biggest movies. And they used to go on tour, used to have their CDs. Like y'all were saying, like y'all wear cheetah print. I wanted that sweatsuit really bad. I still want that sweatsuit. The one color
Same.
one.
I would wear it to this day. Yeah.
Yes. So it's just like they just had so many iconic things, like, and it was just like everyone knows it. Like you go to school, like black, white, whoever, like they gonna know Cheetah Girl song. So I did like really like that, and yeah, I feel like if they were to do a tour today, I would actually want to go to.
For sure.
We'll go to the next one. Next one's favorite Disney movie.
Cheetah Girls, because me, my sister, and our neighbors, it would always be like an event when the new one would come out. We would like watch the old ones, and then we would be like dancing to the songs and stuff. So my sister, she's a dancer, so she, was trying to get us into the routines. So I feel like that was like an experience.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Halloween Town. I used to love me some Halloween Town. And I feel like I don't really like scary movies, but Halloween, and sometimes on Disney, they have some scary things on there. Or like, I guess, borderline scary for like our age. But I just feel like Halloween Town, they like always came out with like new, like classic movies. I think eventually they started changing the characters and stopped watching it. But it was just like a good little storyline. It was like cute and it was warm, but it was like Halloween's. People are dressing up and having fun and like doing little spiteful little things. But I just feel like overall that was like a well put together movie. And there was definitely some Black people in that room because I felt the influence on us from us in that movie too.
I would say this is so like niche, but I would say Jump In, the like jump rope one.
No, that's
outside of the ones we've already named. Like I think High School Musical, Cheetah Girls, like those are like the of courses. But like I used to be obsessed with Corbin Bleu. I just thought his hair was like so cool, and then like I love Keke Palmer too. I was like, I used to love both of them, so I used to really like Jump In.
Yeah, mine, after what everybody else has said, High School Musical also. I loved High School Musical, and even Camp Rock, loved those. I feel like I brought in like all like at the time and like put them all into one movie. I loved when like they would do crossovers and stuff like that too. So love those. Last one, favorite Hannah Montana song. Mine is The Climb. Me and my roommate actually just did this for karaoke the other day in Japan.
That's cute. Okay, I just remember my favorite Hannah Montana song is a Miley Cyrus song. So let me look.
I was gonna say, does Miley solo career count?
Right.
Miley, Hannah Montana, either.
Oh, okay, great.
I
was gonna say
technically Miley Cyrus.
You go first because I feel like we probably have the same one.
Okay, mine is 7 Things I Hate About You. Is that what the song is called?
Okay, that was a good one.
Love that song. Like, because I feel like I wasn't like too pressed about the Miley songs compared to like a High School Musical. Like I really had their CD. But when 7 Things I Hate About You came on and she was getting her into a little rock era, I said, "Oh, girl, this hits." And you could tell like she really felt it. Like and I was so young. I was still in middle school, so like have not experienced like heartbreak or anything. But I was like, "Oh, this girl really felt that." Like, fuck that nigga. So I really love that.
Yeah. No, mine is, I think, off the same album. It was See You Again. That's like, I think you guys have all met. I think you guys have met our cousin Jada, but that was our song. Like we would singing all the lyrics. Love that one.
I love You'll Always Find Your Way Back Home. It's so special, and the song lyrics still stand today. It stands the test of time. So that was my favorite.
I love those answers. Okay, we're going to go into the listener question segment. We were submitted one question, so we're going to answer that one. The question is, who is your Mount Rushmore of Disney Channel? So 4 people that you would put on your Mount Rushmore.
Wait, why did I write down 5? I thought there was 5.
Okay. Disney did not teach us history. That's okay.
Wow. Okay, I have mine. I'll tell you who I kicked off. So I have Raven-Symoné, Zendaya. I honestly forget that Zendaya comes from Disney sometimes because she's bigger than the program. But I have to put Zendaya. I have to put Selena Gomez down because like she's a billionaire, I think. Zac Efron, because I'm like, I feel like he was so influential, especially for the men. He really had.
I thought that was an interesting one.
Choice from Zac.
Because he wasn't even singing.
Like, I thought that was a very interesting pick.
He wasn't.
There was some man that was Drew Seeley, who was like 10 years older than him. He just wasn't like physically attractive, so he was the voice behind Zac Efron.
That's so sad.
And so when High School Musical went on tour, Zac Efron wasn't on tour. It was Drew Seeley and then the rest of the High School Musical cast.
That's
Because I
crazy.
could not sing.
That's so silly. I love Zac Efron. Love
It's
Zac. I
hilarious.
kicked. So
Yeah,
maybe I'll
this part.
swap. I didn't know the boy. So I was gonna kick off Nick Jonas, but now I'm gonna put Nick Jonas back. Goodbye,
Okay.
Zac Efron.
Yeah, I think that's
those are my 4.
I'll say Raven, Hilary Duff, because of C. McGuire. I too was gonna put Nick Jonas because I was obsessed with the Jonas Brothers, and I feel like music-wise, they were them. And then I lost it. And Miley. Those are my 4.
Okay, just the top of my head from like my era growing up. Definitely Raven, Kyla Pratt, because the Proud Family went up.
That's a good one.
Let's say, is it Taj Mowry, like Tia and Tamara's little brother? Because I forgot Smart Guy was on Disney Channel. So, and I feel like he was. Actually, I can't remember if he. I feel like he was maybe featured in some other episodes of other TV shows. Don't know, but I feel like he was pretty good. And then I guess I'll say Miley because I want to look it up. Like I wonder like what show, just like show wise, like indication wise, and then like merch and everything. Like what show made the most money? Because it probably was Hannah Montana.
Yeah. My My Mount Rushmore is Raven-Symoné, Zendaya, Selena Gomez, and Miley Cyrus. I think that. Yeah, I thought I repeated. My honorable mention, my 5th. I loved Ashley Tisdale. I don't know what it was. Loved her.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's my.
Yeah, she had it.
I have 2 have an honorable mention. I would like to add Allie and AJ to the list.
Yeah. I love them.
They were them for sure.
Yeah, I like that movie that they did.
Oh, Cowbells? I like that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good one.
They had Potential Breakup Song. I would still go up to that.
Oh yeah.
It took too long. It took too long. That was such a hit.
No, that stands the test of time.
Yeah. They just did really quick. They just did like a throwback like concert or something like that.
Oh, really?
I saw that.
It was something like that.
I
remember they were performing this.
And they sounded good.
I think Disney Channel is actually missing out on so much money. I'm sure, I'd like to believe that somebody in the office is working on it, but they need to do like a Disney Channel tour. Like Allie and AJ, Miley Cyrus, get the Jonas Brothers in there, get the Cheetah Girls in there, like everybody do like 3 or 4 songs, and then maybe Hannah Montana's the headliner. I'm like, that would make so much money.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, with that, we'll go ahead and go into our next segment, Put Me On, and put that down. We are putting you on to all the things that we are loving and telling you to put down the things that are no longer serving you. Who wants to start?
I can go. I am going to repeat something I said earlier, but speaking things into existence for putting on this week. Power of the tongue is very powerful. What you say can come into fruition. And it's just important to have a positive mindset and framing on things. So that's what I'm going to work on this week. So I hope you guys all do too. Now, for put that down, this is the first thing that came to mind, and I might have to take this back one day, but judging Disney adults. Because I have historically...
I get it. I do get it.
Why are you at Disney without kids? To me, I've always been a little bit questioning about that. But I think I'm just such in a good loving mood today, being positive and all. I'm like, if it makes them happy, why not? It's better than some other hobbies, you know? So if getting dressed up gets them in the mood and gets them excited and they want to spend all that money there, I think I'll let them do that.
So be it.
Yes, so be it.
Okay, but I understand, like, if you go to Disney too much, sure, like, it's an amusement park at the end of the day. But the people that be having, like, Disney houses, I'm like, ma'am, you have no kids.
That's a step too
There's
far.
a lot.
There's a lot.
No, this is that's too far.
I can go real quick. Mine are quick. My put me on rewatching old Disney movies and shows. I said that earlier. I think it's just like when I want to be a kid again, when I'm like stressed, let me just watch something where like I didn't have any response when I was watching this growing up. So I love to just go back to old Disney movies, old Disney shows, and we'll just like watch them and be happy and think back to when I was a kid again. My put that down. I feel like we also mentioned this earlier, like comparing ourselves to like the young Disney stars and like also like not letting Disney stars grow up. I think like not judging them for the mistakes that they made because we all made our mistakes. Ours just weren't on a platform. So letting them make their mistakes, letting them grow up, go through it all, ups and downs and all of that.
Yes.
So kind of you.
That. My put me on, I'll keep it in the Disney theme, is to go back and listen to all your favorite Disney songs. I know earlier we said like what was our favorite like Miley song or Hannah Montana song. But I'm like, if you like go in some, because I'll go back to these songs and they'll be so deep. And so like, wow, I didn't feel these things as a kid. I'm just like, whatever, sounds great. But you listen to it now and it's like, oh, they're talking about life now. And they weren't even like 18 yet. Like, so crazy how like, and I'm sure, I don't know, some people might have had songwriters influence. I don't know. But like that they were writing like these like super life lesson type songs at like fucking 12 and 15 and 18. And we're almost 30 and I'm like still hits. So yes, go listen to those songs and then put that down. Remember, when now it's getting warm a little bit, we need to go outside. So we need to put down them phones and go outside. I don't know if you're not. So Disney didn't do this, but Nickelodeon used to do this, and they would be like, "We're having an outside blackout day," and then you would go to the channel, and there would be no shows on. It would just be like
that was the best.
yes. So it was just like, okay, like luckily I am still a kid, so I was already gonna go outside anyway. But I'm like, imagine the kids. I wonder if they still do it. If the kids these days like they have streaming, so they can look up anything. But I'm just like, the kids will never understand like cable and like the cable going out, or maybe you're not having cable this month. You have to watch regular shows. Like they can just watch whatever. That was just a side note. But yes, we gotta go outside and enjoy just being outside and running around. Like these little boys that was trying to rush in the door just now, they're like, hey, do you have $1? I'll take out your trash. And I had already given them $1. So I was like, I already gave y'all $1. And I was like, forget the trash, like just take the $1. And they're like, no, this is for me. And there was some new kid on the block. I'm like, well, I don't have any more cash, buddy. So I have to catch you next time. But I was like, I appreciate you guys being outside. They're going door to door, asking to take people's trash out. I'm like, okay, at least it's like it's like equal to like mowing people's lawn. So I'm like, okay, so y'all are out the house and off your phones because these iPad babies are scary.
No, for sure. I have two put me ons. The first is kind of like more general, is that kind of thinking about this conversation, like obviously Disney Channel was very impactful to a lot of us. Take some time to like think about what it is that you liked as a kid, like whether it was shows or like music or like things that you liked doing, and like go do that. If you liked jumping rope as a kid, if you like skating as a kid, like go make some time to do that, because I think that like we all need to kind of like feed our inner child at some point and kind of like make time to do that intentionally. Also, this next one is like very LA specific and maybe Florida specific, but I happen to see that Disneyland is doing a Disney Channel night. I think it's like in May. I will be there. I am going to Disney Channel night if you live in California, or I assume they're doing it at Disney World if they're doing it at Disneyland. But yeah, I'm gonna be there to kind of, in that same vein, feed my own inner child. And we're putting down Alex Cooper. I'm so sorry. I'm so tired of like mediocre white women just like getting all these opportunities for doing the bare minimum. So I'm tired of her being forced on us. I think she has like a Hulu show coming out. Enough. And I think this is like the last straw, because it was like, you have the opportunity to do this thing with Hannah Montana for this like very special anniversary event. And this is what you gave us. No, we're not doing it anymore. I'm putting her down. So that's it for me.
Sorry, there's some weird push behind her. Like she interviewed Michelle Obama.
Yeah.
Like why? Is she
I meant to look up, like, is her family, like, does she have a family in the industry? Like, is her dad an exec or something?
I really think her podcast, like, I know Maya said you listened to like when it was her and the Sophia girl. I learned about her when they broke up and she started like calling me daddy. But in the beginning, she was just getting like regular like influencers, like nobody huge, like, but and now she's getting like all the celebrities. So I just think during the podcast time, like after COVID, she just got a really good deal, honestly. But it's so weird because it's not like on her own she's like that and meet like, you know, because she's interviewing people where it's like you're really supposed to be a journalist. You're not getting these good interviews out of people. But
yeah,
I'm just like, now I'm like, well, there's a push now. Like she's been doing it for years. Why is she still like top number one? Like I'm pretty sure she was like the top podcast on every podcast list last year. She's like number one podcast. It's her podcast. It's like, it's not good.
Yeah, I'm like, I need to do some more research into this rise.
Yeah.
But I think that wraps up this week's episode. Thank you guys so much for listening. Please leave us a 5-star review wherever you are listening, if it's on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. If you're on YouTube, make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. You can find us on all of our socials at the Hey Sister Pod. And if you have any listener questions you want to submit, our email is theheysisterpod@gmail.com. Thank you so much for listening, and we will see you next week for a new episode. Bye, sisters.
Bye, sisters.
Bye, sisters.